Ooh, there we go. There we go. You got to have a microphone to make things work. Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome back again as I retrace my footsteps on, well, nothing was coming out. Sorry about that as we begin today. Our special guest coming up at 7, and we want you to make sure that you're here, is going to be special, as we'll have Dr. George Thomas joining us from the Meridian City Council. Also in the same room with us will be Commissioner Simmons. He will be here to tell us about what is going on. Re-election's coming up. But boy, as we dig deep into this, you don't realize what it takes to make things happen in our area. We got a list of accomplishments that wouldn't happen if it hadn't been for him. I hope you'll join us on that this morning. It all begins at 7. We'll talk about what's already happened, what's coming up, and what could, well, affect you. It does. The roads you drive. Wouldn't happen, wasn't for this guy. And we'll tell you more about that on the way beginning at 7. I hope you'll join us for that. Odie's made it in. We're ready for this. We do have a little bit of rain expected today, so be prepared for that. As we pull up radar, let me show you a quick glance of what we've got going on this morning. A little bit of fog also in the southwest corner of Mississippi as we pull up Meridian Honda radar. Let's get a closer look at this. Eastern Lauderdale County up through Lauderdale getting wet this morning. We do have a little bit there in Newton County. And as we move into Scott County this morning, a few scattered showers in Kemper as well. A little bit of fog there. Up in Stark, Vegas, West Point area, a little bit more showers. Nothing heavy at this point, but expect the rain to increase as we get toward lunchtime in that area. Through about 2 o'clock is when we should see that. It'll begin to taper off after that. Sunshine, and let's get anybody, 84, does that excite anybody? That's it for today. Now, it'll warm back up tomorrow about 87. We got the complete forecast coming up in a few moments, but that's a big deal for us. 84. It will feel like a fall day for sure. That's on the way. Let's get a good word this morning. Let's go out to First Baptist Church of Collinsville.
Oftentimes, God uses the words of Scripture to pull back the curtain to give us a greater view of His wonderful grace and mercy. That's what He does with Romans chapter 9. In verses 22 and 23, Paul writes, "What if God, choosing to show wrath and make His power known, bore with great patience the objects of His wrath, prepared for destruction? What if He did this to make the riches of His glory known to the objects of His mercy, whom He prepared in advance for glory?" God would be perfectly just to allow all of us to be objects of His wrath because of our sin. Sin offends the holiness of God and is deserving of both spiritual and physical death. But God, through His mercy and grace, because of His great patience, compassion, and willingness to forgive, has provided a way for sinners to be saved and have eternal life. I'm so thankful to be an object of the mercy of God and not an object of His wrath. I encourage you today to consider your sin and what being a lost sinner could mean for you. I also encourage you to consider all that God has done in Christ so that you might have forgiveness of your sin and be an object of God's great mercy. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Always a good message. I hope you get something out of these. Do you know we're coming up on celebrating our 1-year anniversary on this? I've got the dates written down, but 1 year we've been doing this with the church. So thankful to have them a part of what we do. It reaches a lot of people, and hopefully, by chance, we've saved one person. It's probably been more than that, but in hopes, we at least hope it's one. It's a whole lot more, though, isn't it? As we look at headlines this morning shaping America, as we often point out, I see one thing that is becoming common, and I see this in all of the, and I'll call it, I guess the best way to put it is the liberal media, as we look to the Washington Post, as we start looking at what's going on in the New York Times. One thing is clear. Each one of these newspapers and news outlets are changing their story, their narrative of what is going on. And that is, all of a sudden, Biden is too old. He should step down. He should not run the next time. As we mentioned, was it yesterday about where I don't think anything ever happens in Washington without agreement before it begins, as they're going to start impeachment? Do I think that some of the Democrats had something to do with that behind closed doors that said, go do this now? We're kind of tired of him. There's something going on as we start seeing the media turning against Biden. where in the past he was the greatest. He could lick his ice cream cones, hug on people, and, well, it was okay. That's changing now. There's a reason. I hadn't connected all of the dots yet, but there's a reason behind all of this. We'll wait to find out about that. Let's see what else we've got this morning. The biggest settlement ever that has been passed on from a school. A boy was tormented at school. He was beat at school, and the family's been awarded $27 million. That's the biggest that's ever been awarded to anything dealing with schools. I hate it happened, without a doubt. But I just don't see how our school systems can operate in America with lawsuits that do this. And I'm not knocking the family at all. And I know that there's insurance to some degree. But the school systems can't survive on this. I don't know what the answer is on this. It's horrible. As we see school officials often. Y'all remember the case of the little girl that went to the bathroom. The boy wears a skirt, and we know how that ended. We've got to put right back into the schools and, well, God, back into our schools to stop all of this stuff. It's one thing after another as we see this. This is concerning. China sending 68 warplanes and 10 Navy vessels around Taiwan in the last 24 hours. Does raise an eyebrow, doesn't it? We'll watch to see what becomes of that situation. Arizona, over the last 48 hours, has been hit by a monsoon, battered by torrential rains, trees uprooted, cars crushed. Have y'all seen all of that, those pictures coming out of there? Bad news. I didn't even realize when it was going on, what was happening until after the fact. It's a lot of that. They have caught, and I know it was mentioned yesterday morning, the fugitive out of Pennsylvania. They finally caught this guy. He was on the lam for 2 weeks. And he even admits to police he told everything he knew. He told them that at times they were within 6 to 8 feet of where he was, and he laid still in the bushes. Pretty impressive, isn't it? My, oh, my, oh, my. We'll be right back as we begin this day with your forecast to give you a deeper detail of what's up and coming. Don't forget, we got a great show lined up at 7 o'clock. All what's going on in our communities in the last 24 hours and across the state. We've got it for you. That's all on the way this morning as we start this day together. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South. 601-693-4054.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
And welcome back as we talk about eyeglasses, being able to see. Grayson Optical, you'll find them there on 24th Avenue here in Meridian. Drop in today. If you've got a prescription to have yours done, have somebody locally take care of your eyes. Well, it's kind of important. You ever lose a pair of glasses, need something adjusted? You need that guy that's right down the street that helps you out. And they do that at Grayson Optical. They've been there since 1996. They know a lot of people. Well, they'd like to have you a part of it as well. Drop in and visit with them. You don't have to always buy something. Get to know the person that's going to be working for you. You've got glasses, and trust me on this, doesn't matter age, at some point, you'll probably need to go visit them. They'll be there for you whenever that becomes that. Whether you're looking for the latest style, maybe a little bit of a change, or maybe you broke a pair. Nose piece is missing. They can fix all of this for you. Again, locally owned and operated right there. Maybe it's that blue look you need. They got that, don't they? Even your sunglasses, they can fix those up and put prescription lenses in that for you. See them again. It's locally owned and operated right here in Meridian. Grayson Optical. Call them at 693-6374. 2021 24th Avenue is where you'll find them. Easy to find. Drop in, get yourself a pair of glasses. Trust it with folks that, well, are from here. That's what they are, and they'll help you out there. Let's get into that forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The record highs and record lows for today, 1980, 101 on this date. Now, we got to go way back in time to find our coldest day. It was 1902. It was 43 degrees. Woof. Chilly, wasn't it? We're nowhere near that today. Just a little hint there. We are seeing 84 for the high, though. That's almost like a miracle to the weather that we've seen, as we'll show that Meridian will have rain and southward into the Laurel, Hattiesburg, Waynesboro area, all the way over to Natchez. Lighter rain as you move through Kemper and Philadelphia and Neshoba County. Newton, you're going to get it heavy like Meridian. But the further north you go, the lighter it begins to be. 86 as we get to Columbus Air Force Base, and 83 over in Eupora. Not bad at all. As we go east into Bamaland, 87 warmer there at Demopolis, 84 in Birmingham, and even 81 in Gadsden, Alabama. What a change that is. As we come across to look to see what's happening, a tad bit warmer weather, but nothing horrible. South Texas has got the hottest weather there is. Starting to ease into southwestern Mississippi, a little bit warmer weather there. As we look at the 7-day outlook, here we are at 83 to 84 today, depending upon where you're at. But we do have a 60% chance of showers, so we're going to get it at one point in time. Down to a 10% chance of rain tomorrow, but the temperatures go up to 87 for Friday and Saturday. We'll get 86 on Sunday, and we're back to work Monday with no rain. Slight chances there, but we're holding steady at 87. And 10 days into this forecast, 2 weeks out, we're still holding in the 80s as we get to the 21st at 85. Look at that. The highest we'll get there is toward the end of the month, about 89. But always keep in mind, that's 2 weeks out. Anything can change. We're at a 40% chance of rain toward the end of the month. And there's going to be a lot of people staring at these calendars trying to figure out when the best time to go plant. We all know that. Get your seed in the ground so the grass will come up waiting for the rain. We'll get Odie to do a rain dance for us a little bit later. What's going on with the tropics this morning? As we pull this back up to see where we are, the National Hurricane Center lets us know that Lee is still a Category 3 at this point, moving along at 115 miles an hour at 948 millibars. As we look at Margaret, a Cat 1 at 86, 975 millibars. And we've got this new system here that is developing a good 80% chance that it's going to develop into a storm is what we're watching on that. Now, while we're on the subject of weather, let's go over and take a look at this on radar of what we've got. As we pull up Lee, as we go back to radar, at this point, a level 2, a Cat 2 right here, that's been downgraded in the last hour to a 2. As we look at this, this is where it's going to be coming up, direct hit into Canada in these areas, Nova Scotia and here. We do see that Bangor, Maine, right here on the outskirts of the U.S., will get a little bit into this. But remember, with hurricanes, storms that are east of the eye of this thing will get the worst of the weather. Halifax, these areas right here in Canada, are going to be the direct hit as it has shifted. At one point, they had it further over, but it's moved due east a little bit, and that's where it's headed at this point toward Canada. Now, this is just all messed up here. Look at this thing going around in circles. As Margaret just can't seem to make up her mind what she wants to do. We'll watch that. Here's this other little one right here that's developing that we saw on radar. Pretty much just kind of hanging around here. We'll wait and see a few days out to where that develops and wants to turn and go. We've been fortunate so far. The Gulf has been clear, and we hope it stays that way. Ruben, how are you this morning? Got your coffee ready? Ready for the show? I'm glad. We're going to have that up and going here in just a moment. Well, we can't do anything without knowing what the fishing's going to do. Let's send out to Chet's Paint and Body and see what that fishing forecast holds for today. As we see that a minor time was earlier this morning, ended around 6:30. Your best time today is 11 o'clock till about 1:10. So let's say 11 to 1. We'll call it that. Your next major time will be way after dark. So hit it early today at around 11 o'clock. Your wind's going to be north-northeast around 5 miles an hour. That's not bad at all with the wind. Fish with the wind. Kind of like that deer hunting. Always, everything revolves around the wind. It does. As we said, we've got the morning show kicking off at, if I can see a clock somewhere, we're about
17 minutes.
About 17 minutes. That's what we're getting from this side of the room over here as he does this. Boy, that's a new shirt your wife done got you, hadn't you? Y'all, let me turn this on here.
I pulled it out of the closet.
Odie and new shirts. He's ready for this. I hope you will too. But I am one of those. I don't know how many people spend a lot. There are a lot of people that pick out their clothes the night before what they're going to wear. I'm not that guy. I walk in and it's kind of dark and you feel around and you feel a coat hanger.
That'll work.
That's what I wear. And it kind of rotates down the line. Being a lady, I would never make it. I'd have never had a date because I would never be together. I can't match colors. I'm horrible at this. Just ask Angie. I let things slide that I think look okay, and she tells me they're horrible. We've got it coming up. Scotty Ray, the Scotty Ray Report, along with Odie on the way. Join us at 7 o'clock as we get this day underway for you.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.